Welcome to Wine Library TV. I'm your host, Gary Vaynerchuk. C-H-U-K, not C-K. And this is Wine Library TV. First, let me publicly apologize for the show that was put on yesterday. I'm just kidding. Those guys are great. They're the heart and soul of Wine Library amongst many other people. They're the reason I'm allowed to do this show because they're competent at what they do. And you know what? For a first-time effort, go look at episode 1 of Wine Library TV. So let's not dig them too much. Some funny stuff. Clearly, AJ's got the potential, being my little bro. And I thought everybody did a nice job. So I really appreciate those guys standing in yesterday. Because at the end of the day, when Chris Mott and I were banging through those episodes a couple of weeks ago, one more just seemed impossible. So it was good to see the guys jump in. Other than that, what can I say? I massively missed everybody. I'm glad to be back. It's kind of weird getting back on the bike. You know, it's kind of like so strange to be here. 3 wines today. Going to try a 3-wine format for a little while. Try to tone down the show's length. I see some people complaining about that. Got to talk about this. Can we get that, Mott? Can they see it? The Vayniac logo. Right on the glass that I'll be using often now with the Changing the Wine World. This comes from the San Francisco party, May 31st, 2007. I've not been able to comment on the San Francisco party since I went to Greece right after that, and it was remarkable. Had an amazing time. Huge shout out to Ken and to Brandon M, especially many others as well, but those guys really stepped up, did a great job. It was phenomenal. I'm super excited about the wines we've got today. I've got 2 Pinot Noirs that I want to battle against each other just for kicks and giggles, and a wine called Jersey Boy. So, you know, a nice Jersey boy back in New Jersey, ready to taste some wine, so I'm really, really excited. Before we get into that, I need to talk about the limited teas. The Wine Library TV limited teas. The Oak Monster t-shirt. Me throwing dodgeballs. The peaches and the pickles. So these are now here, the limited teas. Let me tell you about the limited teas. I'm going to have a link down here for them if you're interested. We have a production of 140 of each tea, and that's it. They will never be reproduced. We will continue to produce different ones. So if you want to have something that you can pop on eBay for 100 bones in a couple of years, I'd get one of these. Some of them are real good. And you know you got to have the Oak Monster. The Oak Monster is incredible. So once these are gone, they're gone. Please check them out. Please, pick up one. Send in a picture. I'd love to put it up on WLTV. Anybody that buys a limited tea and sends in a picture will get a place on WLTV. We'll make it. You'll be on the show. It's cool like that. All right, 3 wines. Eric Kastner checking out the new lighting system. I hope the lighting's coming through. Let's focus on the wines because really that's what we do here. So, first wine, Fiddlesticks. Fiddlehead Cellars, 2003, 778 Estate Pinot Noir. That's what they call it, 778. And this is a very famous producer of Pinot Noir from the Sideways land. That's right, Santa Rita, that whole Sideways phenomenon. And I thought it'd be a lot of fun to try this, a very classic hot California region, versus the Argyle from Willamette Valley from Oregon. Very hot Oregon, little Cali, Oregon action, little border war with, a state in between, but, having some fun, and I'm really looking forward to this. I'm kind of in the mood for Pinot Noir. On vacation, I did get to taste a lot of cool things. I had a great Didier Daigneault Pouilly Fumé. That was amazing. The Crystal Cruises is what I went on. Got to see Italy, Turkey, and Greece. So it was a lot of fun, and I got to taste some nice wines. But I've been really yearning for Pinot since I haven't had a chance to taste any. So let's get right into it. You can see very, very nice, solid, dark color. Let's give this a whirl. God, it's good to be back. Classic Pinot Noir flavor profile is coming through on the nose. I'm getting a nice raspberry cherry composite kind of together. I'm getting a little bit of pepper, getting a little bit of like a sweaty kneecap behind the sweaty kneecap. I like that. That's intriguing in this wine. A little bit of pepper, but not as much as I prefer, but a pretty good nose. Really classic Pinot. You're getting that dry strawberry aspect on the finish, which is quite nice. Let's give it a whirl. Nice complexity, good richness. I really like the overall flavor profile on the palate. There's a little heat, good body, well structured, a little bit blah though. You know, it's really like that solid A student, you know, that a teacher has, but you know, the papers are really kind of by the book, no original thought, kind of motoring through. I kind of think that like this Pinot Noir is kind of doing that. It's doing what it's supposed to do. You know, it's a good solid lunch pail, 9 to 5, punches in at 9, leaves at 5, doing everything right, everything you ask for, but it doesn't have that spark, that, you know, charisma, that action, that excitement. And that's what's holding this wine back from being something that's really profound. I really like the overall texture of the wine. It's got a nice solid finish, but it feels like it's just doing everything solid to above average. I'm going to score this wine 88 points. I find it to be, you know, lacking in a lot of areas. Even though it's well made, let's go 89. I'm actually kind of dissing it a little bit because of the price point. I'm going to go 89 points. It's a nice wine. But overall, its overall weight, body structure, complexity, richness, everything is quite solid. There's just nothing wrong with this wine. I think a lot of people would enjoy this wine. You couldn't pay me to spend 32 bucks on this wine, though. I just think there's so many more intriguing wines out there. And so at the end of the day, this wine is a pass. However, if you're in a bind and looking for a solid bottle of Pinot Noir, I don't see anything wrong with the Fiddlestone here. Fiddlehead, excuse me. Not Fiddlestone. Wanted to give it one last taste, make sure I wasn't missing anything. I'm going to stick to my guns. Let's move on. This is the Argyle 2004 Nut House Reserve Pinot Noir, 90 points, Josh Reynolds. So many critics these days. Josh Reynolds, who writes for Stephen Tanzer, $36 US on this wine. And again, this comes from Willamette Valley, which is, you know, producing some amazing Pinot Noirs these days. This does come in a screw top. Kudos on the screw top issue. There's just no reason not to go there. I know the fancy schmancies don't like it, and I know there's some romance to popping open the cork. I've heard it all, but corks get tainted. Not the staggering amounts some people think, but it happens. So why not make it guaranteed? I mean, if there was a way for oxygen to disappear from the world, you know, people wouldn't want to go that route. You just might die. And so at the end of the day, why let a nice little wine die because the cork people didn't clean their tanks or whatever they do? So let's give this a whirl. Also, pretty big pour. Nice, you know what's happening? I'm trying to cover the logo, so I'm pouring a little bit more than normal. Again, a little bit lighter, a little bit more classic Pinot Noir coloring than the prior wine. A little bit more of a ruby cranberry coloring on this wine. Let's give this a whirl. Very tight nose. Roland Stolz, who's the winemaker, is just doing tremendous work with the premium Argyle wines. I've been a huge fan. Now they're 36 bucks for this vintage. It's sad because just 3 or 4 vintages ago, there were $19.99 steals. I was drinking Oregon Pinot, like honestly, like it had the cure inside. But you know, now they've definitely earmarked to a different level, which you know, has made them a little bit more of a buy, sometimes pass, lots of times. Let's give this a whirl. The nose is very tight. I'm getting a little bit of sour cherry, but that's really about it. This wine comes from mainly from the Lone Star Vineyard. About 3,000 bottles of this wine is made. I don't know, it's elegant. It's got some really nice classic Burgundian flavors to it. I do enjoy the hint of asparagus, meaning dried cherries. But overall, I got to be honest with you, I find it a little light and a little lackluster at points. It's not really defined or focused. It's a little dumb right now. It may be young and come together, but I do feel that the overall oomph of this is just not there. I mean, there's just some kids that are never going to hit home runs in Little League. And that's kind of where I'm going with this wine. I'm going to score this wine 88 points. I actually find it less interesting than the Fiddlehead. I don't know. Just not the Pinot Noir battle I thought it was going to shape up to be. Let's move on. Erna Shine, 2005 California Red called Jersey Boy. 90 to 92 points Parker, 43 US dollars, and an absolutely insane blend. 41% Merlot, 18% Cabernet. Check out this label too. Look at this. 18% Cabernet, 23% Cabernet Franc, 12% Syrah, and 6% Petit Verdot. So a classic blend, 5 varietals, Bordeaux varietals. And let me tell you something very interesting about Ernest Schein. Ernest Schein is the mother of Les Barons from Barons and Hitchcock. And if you think that this looks familiar, that's because basically this is now, Barons and Hitchcock have broken up. Les Barons has stayed on to run the winery and do his own thing. He stayed on, and he renamed the winery Ernest Schein after his mother, which is very nice. And this wine is called Jersey Boy. So it's still a lot of that fun. It's still that quality fruit. This is a blend between Mendocino and Napa Valley fruit. I don't know the exact breakdown from which part the Merlot or the Cab or the Cab Franc, Petit Verdot or Syrah come from, but this is an extremely intriguing blend. Again, 43 bones, so it's not an expensive 90 to 92 Parker. So let's give it a whirl. Really, solid, nice, dark color. Excited about this wine. This smells exactly like cherry strawberry Crystal White, circa 1981. Linda Evans on the commercial. It's exploded. Something new, NutraSweet, made America go wild. That's what this wine smells like. It's got an extremely artificial sugar component mixed with fruit. And unlike the fake thing that you get from Australia, this is a little bit more toned down and rounder. There's actually a clear example of real strawberry and cherry fruit on the nose. But just an absolute obvious component of powdered drink. Let's give it a whirl. This wine definitely is fruity. It's a fruit bomb, but it's not so extracted or heavy. It's like a fruit bomb that's thin and light, which is quite weird. Very interesting concoction, blended of 5 different grapes, and really, I'm not sure if any of the 5 are really that great. I'm overall disappointed with this wine. And I promise you, I did not leave my palate in Santorini or Mykonos. I'm just underwhelmed by this effort. It's a little thin for me. It's very fake. It's okay. I mean, it's really okay. I really do believe that you can find a lot of the blended California Meritage type wines or blends that are Syrah-based blends that are coming out of California that are pumping in at that $15 to $20 range that are going to absolutely give you this exact kind of component. This overall to me is a major pass. I'm going to go 87 points on this wine, and I just don't see why anybody would spend $43. Heck, I don't know why you would spend $4.3 for this wine. I'm going to give it a major pass. That was tough. You know what else is tough? I got to do a little homework. You didn't think that I was on the ship not doing a little work. Got to do a little homework. And you know what I noticed? You might notice this little statement over here. I noticed a lot of you that post comments and come to Wine Library TV and are fans of the show and good friends of mine, and we interacted, and I put my heart and soul out. You saw how many taped episodes I did before I left. A lot of you have blogs. A lot of you, And you know what's funny, Mott? You're not spreading the thunder. You're not giving me a little love. Free wristbands, the show, all this. A tear is dropping my eye. So, please, if you have a blog, at least a link. I'm not asking you to write me up and say I'm the greatest, shockingly good-looking, imaginative, very charismatic, wonderful with the wines. I'm not asking you for that. I'm just asking for maybe a link, like, check out this place. I don't know. There's a lot of you, and you've dissed on me. Question of the day. What was the best wine that you've had in the last 2 weeks while I was away? I'm curious what you were drinking and what you liked. And if you want, throw in a part 2 The worst wine you had while I was away. And do you know why I'm asking you this? Because you, with a little bit of me, and an 0 for 3 night, 0 for 3 on the way back. We're changing the wine world, aren't we?